What's wrong with my face, my mouth today? Hello everyone, this is Ronnie, and I'm making a video. I'm trying to set this up. Where do I put this here? I should probably set this up before starting the video, but anyway, a guy just walked past with a big net. I don't know what he's doing. Big butterfly net. So anyway, the video today is about, do women and men need a different diet, and particularly when we're talking about a raw food diet. And the reason I want to talk about that is just an interesting topic that comes up now and again, but I have heard some people who have either said because they're a man they need this for a raw food, for whatever diet they're doing, and some women say because I'm a woman I have different needs to men, and that man's diet doesn't work. So if a man makes a particular diet, some women will say, yeah, that doesn't work for me. If a woman makes a particular diet, some guys will say that doesn't work for men. You know, you kind of see this. And so before I get into the topic, I'm going to go into what I want to start to do from now on, because I've got opinions and ideas on a lot of these things, but I kind of want to start from a position of disproving the opinion I've got from now on. So I want to take a higher level of, honesty and truth and whatever, scientific credibility in everything that I'm saying. So I do want to try and be a bit more skeptical about the things, because I've got an answer to this topic, but from now on I want to be a bit more, I have these ideas and opinions. I don't just want to jump in, but the way that I've been influenced, the thing about this particular topic comes from Dr. Doug Graham, who had a video a number of years ago and he was talking about the blood type diet, and then he was saying, well, women and men have much bigger differences than blood type, but when we look at animal species across the animal kingdom, we do not tend to see the males of a species and the females of a species eating a different diet. We find that there is what he calls a species-specific diet, which is the diet that species eats. And if we think logically about this, if you have a group of animals that live in a community together and they travel together and they go to the same areas, then the idea that they would have a different diet would be quite a difficult thing, would cause problems with their ability to feed the group, because they'd be having to go and find one type of food for women, one type of other food for men, or a bunch of other types of food, and that would be a problem. It would be an inefficient way of organising things for an animal species. So as far as I know, bears eat the food that bears eat, and dogs eat the food that dogs eat, and lions eat the food that lions eat, and the frugivorous primates eat the food that frugivorous primates eat, which is fruit, if you've not guessed that already. So we require a fruit-based diet, both men and women, for optimal health, a high fruit diet. And the evidence around this, or the fact around this, is probably a little bit lacking. But there's plenty of evidence to show that fruit is the ideal diet, that is good for women and men's health, that more fruit is good, that there's no limit to the amount of fruit that keeps on giving benefits. The fruit's the food that people are eating too little of. Over and over again, the information about fruit being this important food is there, but there's very little studies on fruitarians or raw food. It's the ones that are, some on people on a mostly fruit diet are fairly positive a lot of the time, actually. There's just not a lot of them. But a fruit diet makes sense for human beings as a frugivorous primate. It's something we can't imagine a lot of the time. We can't imagine that's what our ancestors ate because we're so used to the cooked food thing. And a lot of people will say, well, we've been eating cooked food for millions of years, which is an interesting concept. It's just that we don't find any remains of fires over millions of years. We would find a lot of remains of human fires. We just don't find a lot of those, according to Dr. or Professor Alan Walker, an anthropologist, who wasn't a raw foodist. Now, I'm going to do probably a video on him actually. He wasn't a raw foodist, but he just didn't jump in with all his colleagues who were saying, oh, cooking food made us human and all that. He was kind of like, well, if that's the case, how come if that is the case, over millions of years, over 1,000,000 years, human beings have been using fire to cook food. If that is true, there would be billions of remains of fires, billions throughout, Africa. We would have found some of those. We would have found a whole bunch of those. We can't find any of those. So that's a bit of a hole in that argument. Without fire, I'm not sure how people would have cooked food. Maybe they had ovens and microwaves, but I'm kind of thinking they didn't. Alan Walker's brilliant, but he wasn't a raw foodist. I mean, it's quite clear he wasn't a raw foodist, right? I mean, as far as I can see. So, he also did the studies on dental work. He kind of came up with that idea of assessing dental work, found that the ancestors of human beings before Homo erectus were exclusively eating fruit, as in exclusive fruit eaters. So, human beings, your ancestors, doesn't matter what you like or what you want to believe, your human ancestors were eating lots of fruit, and that is what your body's designed for. That's what everything, your colour vision, your taste, everything is designed for fruit. Everything. And I don't know why that's not so obvious to people. There's also a thing Dr. Alan Walker talked about, which is presentism, which is the idea of taking what's happening now and applying it to the past and thinking that what happened now is happening. If we can't imagine that the lives of people 100 years ago, even 200 years ago, 300 years ago, extremely different, and then going back thousands, millions of years. We can't even imagine it. And we like to think they were all cooking their food and doing stuff like that, and that they all had ovens and they all had bathrooms and all, but they didn't even have plumbing, or it was very basic. Things weren't as organized. Things weren't as, I don't know. Things were different, and we apply all these things that are happening today, and we imagine that must have been what it was like in the past. So this idea that we were cooking food for 1,000,000 years appeals to people, but is a wild claim based on very little evidence. So human beings are frugivores. We lived in the areas of the world in which fruit was in abundance, and for sure the population exploded when agriculture happened. That's no question. But people had to be eating other things before that. Of course, then the other idea is that people were eating meat. Maybe women eat more meat or fat. I mean, one of the things is women need more fat because women need more fat because they have, I don't know, I'm not sure why, but some people say women need more fat. Well, that may suggest, maybe they should be, because they make breast milk or something, so they need more fat. But maybe they need to eat animal fat. Maybe they need to eat dead animals to make fat. But these kind of arguments don't make sense because there are many millions of animals, or at least tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of animals. Some are meat eaters, some are complete vegetarian, some live on insects, and they all make, all the various male and female hormones. All vertebrates basically have the same, I think all vertebrates basically make testosterone and estrogen. As far as I know, I might be inaccurate on that, but I believe it's basically all vertebrates. And so this isn't new stuff, these hormones, but animals have found ways of eating varied diets and they can still produce these hormones. So the hormones that women need, the hormones that men need, are possible on all animal diets, all diets that all animals have ever consumed. Once again, human beings are primates, frugivorous primates. For 30, 40, 50 million years, your ancestors were eating fruit almost exclusively. So to then turn around and go, well, fruit can't give us the hormones we need to be male or female, that's just a bit silly. It's a bit silly, isn't it? It's very silly. So, let's think about this. Men and women, do they need a different diet? I would say no. But if I was to counter my argument and try and disprove it, what would I say? Well, women and men's bodies are different. They do make different hormones and all that kind of stuff, but really we have way more similarities, far more similarities. Going down into the cells and the mitochondria and the DNA and the structure of your body and the proteins and the digestive system and the brain and all these things. We have way, way, way more similarities, especially biologically. So there's not really any good reason to think that human beings need the women and men need a different diet. But if you've got any other information, feel free to let me know. I put the information down below if you like. Feel free to comment. I would like to let you know as well this week I have just uploaded or just put up the book that I've written, The Raw Food Lifestyle 101. And if you'd like to check that out for a limited period of time, there is a discount on it, and there are 6 bonuses with it for the people that want to download it in the first week or so. So go and check that out, see if it's for you. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.